It is a beautiful December Sunday at Gillette Stadium in New England. We welcome you to America's Game of the Week. The Patriots coming off their first loss of the season. Bill Belichick's team 10 up and 1 down. And of course for the Eagles and Chip Kelly, a 4-7 record. But Charles Davis, they're still in the hunt even at 4-7 in the NFC East.
So that allows them to just go ahead and say, let's wipe away the last 2 weeks, come out and punch and fight, and they still have a chance.
New England won the toss, deferred to getting the football until the second half. So Stephen Gostkowski spins it away, and this will be Josh Huff at the goal line for the Eagles. Still on his feet and across the 15 and tackled there. Well, even with all the struggles that Chip Kelly's team has had this season, you look up and down at some of the names, Murray, Matthews, of course the big tight end Brett Selleck. There still are a lot of weapons on this offense that could potentially do some good things.
A lot of playmakers. They have to find a way to get them untracked. Last few weeks, they haven't been able to get that done at all. A lot of it starts with an offensive line that needs to show some consistency.
And of course they welcome back Sam Bradford, who was inactive the last 2 weeks after suffering a concussion and a left shoulder injury on a sack in Miami 3 weeks ago. And they hand it to Darren Sproles, who gets a start in the backfield. And Sproles up to the 25, a nice first down carry. Bradford, of course, a former #1 pick overall by the Rams, was the league's offensive rookie of the year his first season, but over the last 2 years, he's torn the ACL in his left knee. Was traded from the Rams in the Nick Foles deal, coming to Philadelphia. And that is a reception by Zach Ertz, who's also back this week, coming back from a concussion. Defensively for New England, just having an outstanding season.
And you're looking at Matt Patricia, their defensive coordinator, who told us in our meeting that we believe our season begins after Thanksgiving, the drive for the playoffs.
First carry for DeMarco Murray. And another solid run to begin this game. One by Sproles, another by Murray. Run out of bounds by Jamie Collins, who plays for the first time in over a month with an undisclosed illness.
Could not be a better start for Philadelphia than what we're seeing right now. Picked up a first down, another solid gain on the second first down of their game.
Bradford on 2nd and 3. Great protection and a dangerous throw knocked away by the Super Bowl hero from a season ago, Malcolm Butler.
Plenty of time for Sam Bradford to survey the field, but look at the top here. Watch the coverage by Malcolm Butler. He just stays with it. Aguilar comes back towards the quarterback. He stays with him, goes over the top, and knocks it away.
The Eagles have been woeful on third down all year long, converting just 34% of the time, but they've cashed in here, and that's another first down on the reception by Sproles to the 43. Check in downstairs with a third member of our broadcast team, the big fella, Tony Siragusa.
Thanks, Tom. You know, the last 3 weeks, obviously, like Tom, you said the Eagles have struggled, but that doesn't matter because when you're an NFL player and you're playing the best, the reigning world champions, you seem to find that little extra. And there's no question, I think the Patriots are going to get the Eagles' best today. But remember, the Pats haven't lost back-to-back games in 3 years. They only had 4 back-to-back losses since I won the Super Bowl in 2000, which feels like a century ago to me.
Well, it is a century ago.
Oh, thanks.
And Tony, you're right. So far, Philadelphia is giving New England their best, especially getting started on offense this quickly.
6-yard gain on first down and incomplete. Again, an eye on Sproles. Collins in coverage. It'll bring up another third down for Philadelphia.
But the beauty for them so far, I know it's only been a couple, is that they've been third and really reasonable. All right, look at this. This is third, what, 4? This is something that's in your wheelhouse. It's not 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, which allows New England to get really creative defensively.
They play of this first drive. And again, good protection. And again, finding Sproles out of the backfield is Bradford. And again, it's a Philadelphia first down. to the Patriots' 42-yard line.
And everything's fueled by what they're getting done on first down. Here's Darren Sproles out of the backfield, setting up the 3rd and 4, just exits out. Bradford comes right back to him quickly.
Well, we did not see the penalty flag that was thrown on the far side of the field. It's holding against the Eagles. So 3rd and 4 becomes 3rd and 14.
Nullifies another nice pickup. I believe they got Lane Johnson, their right tackle, for the hold, and he struggled with penalties throughout this season.
Collins comes around the corner. Bradford throws across the middle with an eye on Matthews. It's broken up by Patrick Chung. So a big penalty, and again there's another flag.
Hands to their face, number 71. Offense, penalty will be declined. 4th down.
Of course, much was made of this officiating crew, headed by Pete Morelli. This crew really struggled in that game last week, the 49ers against the Cardinals, and they were supposed to work the Sunday night game later on, and I guess they did motion by working a 4:30 game in New England. Danny Amendola back and healthy, playing this week. Waits on the punt and runs out of bounds after picking it up on a bounce just beyond the 15. When we come back, the NFL's best quarterback, Brady and company, get the football.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
Number 71 has
The 10-1 New England Patriots get the football for the first time in the game. They start this drive from their own 17-yard line. Of course, the Patriots have just been ravaged with injuries this season, hoping to crank up the running game behind LeGarrette Blount here today. It is a group that rushed for a grand total of 39 yards in their loss last Sunday night in Denver. And of course today, to further complicate matters, they are without their perennial All-Pro Rob Gronkowski.
So one of the ways they'll answer that in the running game is to run Cameron Fleming, number 71, into the game as an extra offensive lineman slash tight end when they want to power run.
A little better surface this week.
Yes, not playing in the snow and the rain and the cold in Denver. He's cut back by Blount, and that'll be a first down into the 30-yard line. Tom Brady, 38 years young, grew up in San Mateo, California, 10-time Pro Bowler, 2-time NFL MVP, 3-time Super Bowl MVP. You can go on and on and on. Having one of his best seasons ever. Leads the NFL in passing yards and leads the NFL in passing touchdowns going into play today.
And normally when you have that many accomplishments on the mantle, you get satisfied. He is far from it.
Way far.
They give it to the former Eagle, Demarcus Johnson, just picked up and activated this week. Johnson played 2 years in Philadelphia, spent last season in Houston. Boy, this Eagle defense, the last 2 games, has given up 90 points and a whopping 10 touchdowns, and now they face Tom Brady.
An angry Tom Brady. The biggest thing for them is how do they find confidence? Do they create a play? Look at them right now. They are so confused. They don't know what personnel is supposed to be in the game. They don't know what call they're in right now. Not a good start for Philadelphia.
Brady is leveled by Connor Barwin all the way back to the 27-yard line. Barwin, the former 2 sports star at the University of Cincinnati, played both basketball and football for the Bearcats.
And they were all confused, but how about this thing turning out right in the end? Connor Barwin, 98, with a nice stunt, working inside, working with Brandon Graham, 55, where he comes inside instead of outside from the defensive end position and gets Tom Brady. And they were all confused, didn't know who was in the ball game, and it worked out well for Philadelphia.
Barwin, a Pro Bowler for the first time a season ago, led the NFC with 14.5 sacks. They just do get it off. And Brady in trouble again, spins out of trouble and looks far down the field, incomplete, and no penalty flag. Eric Rowe, who makes his first NFL start for the injured Nolan Carroll in coverage.
He has to grow as a youngster, does 32. Now watch Brandon LaFell, 19. He essentially stops his route, and Tom Brady throws it deep. If he keeps running and gives himself an opportunity, there's probably a play on the football. But LaBella thought the play was dead, and then he had to get on his horse again a little bit too late.
So after the big sack by Barwin, it forces a New England punt. This is Darren Sproles, the always dangerous punt returner. Penalty flag comes in late as he's tackled at the 33. Pro Bowl special team standout for New England, Matthew Slater, is the injured Patriot.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 34 of the receiving team, 10-yard penalty. First down, timeout.
That's Ken John Barner, a backup running back who played for Chip Kelly at Oregon.
Today's game is sponsored by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home.
A good start for Philadelphia defensively. I mean, you'll take all the small victories you can get the way things have gone the last 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Without a doubt. And here's Bill Belichick. That's Sarah Thomas. That he's talking about talking to her about some things that he doesn't like that's going on the field. Why don't you take a little extra look at it for me, please?
I think that's the games that the guys have been running. A little grabbing going inside there for the Eagles defensive line.
Delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I think Sam Bradford is wondering, was there some kind of malfunction with the play clock? And I believe this crew is going to get it together and talk about this. Or are they? How in the world do you come out of a timeout and have a delay of game penalty? There are reasons why you're 4-7.
And Chip Kelly's asking the same question about the play clock. How long did we actually have? That's not the way to start a drive, obviously.
Now they might be right after all.
False start. Number 71 offense. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
That is 2 penalties on the perennial Pro Bowl left tackle Jason Peters.
You know, sometimes when you're an offensive tackle, you try to get that kick to get back, get in good position for that defensive end on the pass rush. And sometimes you kick a little too early. That's exactly what Jason Peters did on that play.
And Tony, he's been the first one snapping out of the line of scrimmage early in the game to begin with. That time he snapped out just a little bit too quickly.
All right, so back-to-back penalties before you ever start the drive. They hand it off to Kenyon Barner, and a huge run by the former Oregon Duck. And depending where they spot it, he appears to be maybe a yard short of a first down. That's a 19-yard gain by Barner.
And this is just one of their staple plays. Just a sweep out of the gun formation, and he finds the second and third level very quickly and nearly picks up a first down.
DeMarco Murray checks back into the Philadelphia backfield, takes a handoff, and we'll see whether or not he was able to pick up that 1 yard.
And that was his first touch of the game, wasn't it?
Second.
Second? Okay.
The Eagles offense doing a nice job of balancing with the run and pass, keeping this defense for the New England a little bit off balance.
He does pick up the first down. So once more into the hands of DeMarco Murray, and just not much running for him. The first one there, Chandler Jones. Well, what a difference a year makes for DeMarco Murray. 2-time Pro Bowler over his 4 years in Dallas. Last year, the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year. Led the league in rushing, nearly 1,900 yards. He had 12 100-yard games. Comes as a free agent to Philly, where 1 game he's rushed for 100 yards. Big hit on Sproles, delivered by Butler. McNair, all right, it'll bring up the third down.
Grabbing the face mask, number 76. Offense, 15-yard penalty, still second down.
That is the 5th penalty against the Eagles. Well, we have a moment. Let's check in with Mike Hill back in Los Angeles for a game break.
All right, guys, Saints trying to knock off the unbeaten Panthers. Drew Brees to the former Patriot, Ben Watson, 14-yard touchdown. Saints on top, 7-0 in the first. Back to you.
Well, for a long, long time, Charles, that was a very hard place to go in as a visiting team and win a game. That has not been the story the last 2 years.
Not at all, but for Carolina, they thought they'd have to win today to clinch the division. It's already clinched with the Atlanta loss earlier.
Powerful running by Darren Sproles up to the 29-yard line.
The offensive line has a number of penalties so far today for Philadelphia, but they are doing a very nice job in the run game early. There's Jason Kelsey, their Pro Bowl center. He's had a tough year, but they need him to play well today to set the tone for the rest of their offensive line.
Already 55 rushing yards for the Eagles on just 7 carries, but penalties are killing. 3rd down and long, and the catch made by Sproles, and Nate Ebner slows him down and drops him in the 37. And again, penalties really hurting the Eagles, who have moved the ball rather well their first 2 drives were it not for the yellow flag.
The positive they'll take from this drive was they had the penalties early that really backed them up. But they got it out to a reasonable spot on the field where punting the ball now helps them defensively if they don't give up the big return.
The Patriots were hoping for a chance to nail down their divisional championship today, and it looked like the Jets were going to lose, but rallied to beat the Giants. The hub of Boston, the bridges of Vermont, Acadia National Park, beautiful New England on a December Sunday.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Dodge. By T-Mobile, ditch your carrier and switch to the Un-carrier. And by Lowe's, hurry in today for great winter savings.
Welcome back to Foxborough. Scoreless game with 6:32 to play in the opening quarter. Tom Brady and the Patriots get it for the second time. LeGarrette Blount comes back the other way, still on his feet. And that'll be a gain of almost 9. A penalty flag comes flying in for the secondary.
Tell you what, the yellow flags are populating this field early in the game.
Raining flags.
There's no foul in the field for an illegal block in the back. That block is on the shoulder. First down.
So they wipe that one away, and the play stands. LeGarrette Blount, we're used to him being more of a blunt object when he runs the football.
Yes.
But early in this game, he's been a lot more nimble. That's the second time I've seen a big-time cutback by him, going back the other way, opposite the grain, and then finishing the run well.
Just received word from the Patriots bench that Matt Slater suffered a stinger. His return is questionable. That is out of bounds on the near interception by Eric Rowe.
Nice catch, but he got to get both feet in.
And this is exactly what Philadelphia needs, desperately needs. Some type of a play like that. He only got the 1 foot down on the initial look. See it going off of the hands right there of Brandon Bolden, the running back. Row 32 gets the ball, 1 foot is there, but the second foot comes down clearly out of bounds. But Philadelphia needs a big-time turnover, a takeaway, a big play to inspire the defense and get them moving on the offensive end.
That's exactly what they were doing. Two-thirds of this season is taking the ball away. They have not forced a turnover in the last 3 weeks, and I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that they have lost all 3 of those games. Catch made by LaFell, but outstanding coverage by Malcolm Jenkins. Jenkins certainly making news in Philadelphia on his radio show with Howard Eskin. Talked about the lack of accountability from the players. Too caught up in not finger pointing. Problems being swept under the rug. Told Howard Eskin that on his radio show, and boy, that made a lot of waves in Philly.
Maybe that's what they needed because they're playing pretty good right now, Tom.
3rd down and 13. Brady down he goes again. Vinny Curry in his 4th season out of Marshall. Barr went in there to help him.
A lot of the time when you get a sack, it's because the guys on the back end covered well, and there's no space for Tom Brady to get the football to these receivers. Byron Maxwell working there on Brandon LaFell, and they were able to get right to Tom Brady and get him down again.
So the punt by Ryan Allen, and room to run for Sproles. Cuts it back to the inside, and real good field position for the Eagles as this drive starts at the 43-yard line. Well, Davis doing a little ice skating this weekend in Patriot place. A pair of sacks for this Philadelphia defense on Tom Brady in this opening quarter. And now the Eagles for the third time with the football. Scoreless game in front of a sellout crowd in Foxborough. Bradford has it batted into the air and incomplete.
And Tom, you were talking about Malcolm Jenkins in his comments this past week that stirred things up in Philadelphia. Chip Kelly answered those comments and said, well, we do things differently. And this is what I believe in. This is what we're doing. And off they've gone. They do not look like a team where the locker room's been lost so far today. They look like a team that's quit after the last two games. They're playing with a little emotion today. If they clean up things offensively with penalties, the ball's being moved.
DeMarco Murray, no running room, and he is dropped to the 40-yard line in hot pursuit. Coming down the line, getting a start in place of the injured Dante Hightower is Jonathan Freeney. McCourty also in on the tackle.
And Tony, this is exactly what Philadelphia can't do. Get behind the chains. We're 3rd and 12 now. That allows Matt Patricia to get real exotic on defense, change up things in coverages and how they rush the passer.
Very predictable.
Exactly.
Yep.
Blitz coming, they pick it up, give Bradford all the time in the world, and his throw is nowhere close to the intended receiver.
I don't know what Sam Bradford was looking at on that play, guys.
And Tony, the primary receiver is Jonathan Krause, who's just been activated. He was with New England in the preseason this year, had a decent preseason, but he has no catches at all for Philadelphia. So you're on your 3rd and 12 play, and your primary receiver is someone that cut a ball for you all year.
Left-footed punter, Pro Bowler Donnie Jones. Runs it again for the second time through the end zone. 3:43 to go. Brady and the Patriots have been held to 13 yards of offense. We talked about some of the numbers this Philadelphia team the last 2 weeks allowing 45 or more points. And in each game allowing 5 touchdown passes. That's the first time that has ever happened in back-to-back games in Philadelphia franchise history. Of course, Robert Kraft bought this team, his hometown team, in 1994, joined today by Charles, our bosses, Rupert Murdoch, the executive chairman of News Corp, his son Lachlan Murdoch, the co-chairman. Nice to have them with us here today.
Always glad to have the bosses in attendance.
Yes, indeed.
They picked a really nice day. The weather and everything.
Well, I saw you snuggling up to Mr. Murdoch down there, Tony, along the sideline.
Just said hello. Just said
I tell you
hello.
what, you're a sharp dude. Brady on second down. A perfect throw to Brandon LaFell. They really need both LaFell and Scott Chandler to pick up the pace with all the injuries on this New England offense.
Here's Brandon LaFell, who came in midway through the year this year, coming off the injured list, and makes a nice catch there. Remember his first game back, guys? 6 drops was the estimation. Had to go shake the rust off, get back into his hands. And the thing about him, he operates better if he's into the game early. Get him involved early, and you get a better performance out of him.
He came over last year as a free agent for Carolina and had an outstanding freshman campaign for New England. Penalty flag is down. Catch made by Keyshawn Martin. That's only his 8th catch of this entire year.
That flag was on the opposite side of the field, guys. Byron Maxwell's area.
Illegal contact, number 31. Defense penalty will be declined. The result of the play, first down.
It's a 19-yard gain.
And Byron Maxwell was their big free agent pickup in the offseason for Philadelphia in the secondary, number 31. Well past the 5-yard mark when he contacts Danny Amendola, who's come back off of a knee injury. He missed the Denver game last week.
Maxwell among so many roster moves made by Chip Kelly, and not Chip Kelly the coach, but Chip Kelly the guy who runs the entire football operations of Philadelphia. Well, we have a moment. Let's send it to Los Angeles. A game break with Mike Hill.
Guys, as you know, Patriots lost last week, so the Panthers the only undefeated team in the NFL, but that's in jeopardy in New Orleans. Jonathan Stewart fumbles, and Stephon Anthony, he's got that. He's returning 31 yards for the score, and it's 14-0 Saints in the second. Tom, Charles, back to you.
Tell you what, the emotion picks up when your back's against the wall, doesn't it? That's New Orleans.
Second down. That ball appeared to be tipped at the line of scrimmage as Brady took a big hit. And again, Vinnie Curry along with Brandon Graham.
Nice pressure with just 4 guys up on the front.
This is something Tom Brady's gotten used to this year. You know, the sacks are only up 4 over what he was sacked all of last year. Last year's 21 times, 25 coming into today. But in the last 2 weeks prior to today, he'd been hit 13 and 10 times in the last 2 games. A lot of pressure on Tom Brady throughout this season.
Brady delivers a strike. And the catch made by Amendola to move the chains. They're happy to have Danny Amendola back. That is his 50th catch of the season.
And here's Amendola working out of the slot. Exactly what you would expect. That's why he's on this roster. And what a nice move on E.J. Bigger's number 38. And that ball's on its way as he makes his cut towards the sideline.
That's a perfect throw right there.
Boy, it is.
And they need Amendola to fill the breach with Rob Gronkowski out. They need him to pick up the slack, especially on 3rd downs such as that one.
Fake one way, fake another way, and that was snipped out beautifully by the Eagles on defense, trying to set up what appeared to be the screen to Brandon Bolden.
Tony, if a team doesn't come with emotion, if a team is kind of checked out on the season, those types of plays work well against them, don't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's not what we're seeing here today. This Eagle team came to play, and we talked about it. You know, when players start stepping up in the locker room and start talking to each other and calling guys out, sometimes it happens more than the media reports. Sometimes, you know, guys step up and start playing a little bit better. That's when you're leaders. That's what you need in the locker room. You need leaders to go and call guys out and say, hey, listen, you got to play better. And I think that's what happened to this Eagles team.
Second down and 10 coming after Brady again. Just to miss getting him, and that one lofted, and the catch is made by Chandler. And it's 1st and goal, New England inside the 10.
How about that throw under pressure, Charles?
That was something, because the pressure's right in his face. And watch Tom Brady step through the trash, keep his eyes downfield, and make the throw really without setting himself, and right over the top of Ed Reynolds, number 30, into the arms of Scott Chandler. And Chandler went to Iowa as a wide receiver before converting to tight end. He uses wide receiver skills on that play.
Tom Brady's eyes are always downfield looking at his receivers.
Handed off, first carry of the afternoon by Bolden. And Fletcher Cox here to meet him right at the 5, a gain of a yard on the final play of the opening quarter. Surprisingly, a scoreless opening quarter. The NFL on Fox continues after these messages. Second down and goal for New England on the first play of the second quarter. 10th play of the drive that spans 76 yards. Brady finds James White for the touchdown. That's a guy in the commercial break, Charles Davis. You were saying, you guys call me crazy, but I'm looking for James White here.
Caught a touchdown pass against Buffalo recently. And what does he do here? Gets out of the backfield and is wide open because everyone's looking inside. Truthfully, Scott Chandler drew a lot of attention, number 88, because New England runs so many tight end plays for Gronk. I think they shifted their attention to, okay, Gronk's not in, but Chandler's capable. And they went there. White sneaks out of the backfield into the flat, gets another touchdown catch.
Of course, you're looking for either White or Bolden or even the recent acquisition of Trey Williams to fill the shoes of Dion Lewis, who is out for the year. Patriots on the board. A 7-0 lead a minute into the second quarter.
Today's game is sponsored by Amazon Fire TV. So long, Showhold. By MetLife. Contact a MetLife Premier Client Group representative today. And by Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.49. Only at BK.
Ah, yes, 'tis the season. Tom Brady with that touchdown pass. All by himself. Third most in the history of the NFL. Came in a tie with the Hall of Famer Dan Marino. 421. And, you know, look, barring any injury, I mean, good Lord willing, this guy is going to play a long time, Charles. He is showing zero sign or signs of aging or slowing down.
And is doing everything possible to continue to play longer with his physical fitness.
Sproles up to the 19-yard line. Well, or Huff, rather. Of course, you go all the way back to the year 2000. The 6th round. The Boston Globe, a recap of all the Patriots draft picks. A pocket passer for a practice squad spot should not affect backup quarterbacks John Freeze or Michael Bishop. They were right. He didn't affect them at all.
Nothing like making a person eat their words, huh, guys?
And John Freeze and Michael Bishop were tremendous college quarterbacks. They were great players. And Tom Brady, he didn't worry about what the scouting report was. He was all about production.
You know, not only do people talk about Brady, and it's talked about regularly, being a 6th-round draft choice, bear in mind the Patriots had 2 6th-round draft choices in 2000, and he was the 2nd of the 2.
And he uses that as total fuel for what he wants to get done. He keeps that chip on his shoulder. He keeps that going all the time, always wanting to prove something different, prove something more. Tony said something to us interesting in the break, though. Philadelphia's got a match, don't they, Tony?
Yeah, I think they do. You got to get a little momentum here offensively. And just watch Jason Peters get up a little bit slower at left tackle. I'm going to keep an eye on him.
Well, he's been battling injuries all season long as Peters. I mean, he is a pro's pro. That's a first down run for Darren Sproles. Peters had quad injury, calf injury, ankle injuries. Most recently has missed a couple of games this season. He has been a great player for a long time. Of course, when he came into the league, he was on the defensive side of the ball.
And undrafted.
In and out of the hands. The rookie Nelson Aguilar. He's pretty much been a non-factor so far this season. He did miss 3 games with an injury.
An high ankle sprain that suffered in the New Orleans game that we did a number of weeks back. Had a hip injury since then. Just has not been able to get on track.
No running room this time for Sproles. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. We'll call it 3rd and 9.
And guys, there's been a big outcry for a number of weeks that maybe DeMarco Murray doesn't fit this offense well for Philadelphia. Maybe someone else fits it better. Well, Ryan Matthews was supposed to be that guy, but he's hurt. Missed the last 3 with a concussion. Today, we're not seeing much of Murray. We're seeing Sproles, and we're seeing Kenyon Barner, and they're providing what little spark we're seeing from the offense thus far for Philadelphia.
Bradford in trouble, gets it away. That is Barner, who slips 1 tackle. Penalty flag in the backfield. Well short of a first down, but again, we wait on the penalty.
Holding. Number 71, offense. Penalty will be declined. 4th down.
How about this pass rush, Tony? Sam Bradford's eyes ended up coming down from downfield. He ended up seeing the rush. Watch him. He's looking downfield. Now the rush is going to get in his face, and he has to duck. And then he comes back and tries to find his receiver. I think all in all, a good job by him, but good coverage by New England.
Yeah, that pocket closed up on him pretty fast there, Charles.
Tavares Johnson, the one-time Eagle, dropped in his tracks right at the 19-yard line. Patriots a 7-0 lead in the 2nd quarter. Patriots offensively slowed down the first 2 possessions, but then cranked it up, especially on that 30-yard pass play from Brady to Scott Chandler. They got him inside the 10. They cashed in on the touchdown to White. Garrett Blunt is blasted by Michael Kendricks behind the line of scrimmage. Well, some call him the most fearless voice in sports, and now he's on FS1. Colin Cowherd. And you can see him on the herd every day at noon Eastern, only on FS1. Be a loss of 5 on first down. 2nd and 15 for Brady from the 14-yard line. Good protection, real good this time. Throws into double coverage, and Martin trying to come back and get it, and that'll draw a penalty flag.
I think this was an intelligent throw by Tom Brady, and it's going to sound crazy, but he saw the backs of the defensive backs' helmets, and he threw it up and said, my receiver will make a play. Watch Keyshawn Martin going
downfield. Pass interference,
field.
number 27 defense, automatic. First down.
You see how he had the defenders with their backs showing to Tom Brady, had them turn. So he said, okay, I'm going to heave it, and Keyshawn Martin, you see it, come back and get it. He was hoping, one, he would come back and get it, and two, he got something big anyway. He drew a pass interference deep downfield.
That's a 42-yard penalty, and the Eagles are already knocking on the door of 100 yards in penalties, and we're not even 5 minutes into the second quarter.
You know what happens sometimes? When you've played so poorly and you're coming out with a lot of emotion to right the ship and play better, you press too much. You overdo it. Create more penalties for yourself, for your team. And I think that's part of what's going on with Philadelphia today. They're tired of being embarrassed. The last 2 games have been an embarrassment for them.
LeGarrette Blount, a first down to the 32-yard line, and we check in back in Los Angeles once again. A grain break with Mike Hill.
Panthers, the only undefeated, spotted the Saints a 14-0 lead, but coming back, Cam Newton to his big running back, Mike Tolbert, 12-yard catch. And yeah, we get the Carlton in there. Charles, I know you love that. 14-7 Saints, early second.
Mike, what I would have loved is for the Banks family to have adopted me, and I would have called him every single day.
First and 10, Brady and Blount run into one another. Blount looking to try and turn out of would-be tacklers, and is dropped all the way back to the 37-yard line by Kendricks.
Such a simple play, the handoff, but if you have called it one way and the back goes the other, or you go the wrong way off of what the back thinks is called, I'm guessing that we're going to say that LeGarrette Blount went the wrong way. Just call me crazy on that one, right? That Tom Brady might know the play call.
You never know.
You never know.
Make a mistake here.
I gotta agree with you.
I'm going to go with that one, and LeGarrette messed it up and hurt him on field position a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe there. Brady fumbles the ball, recovers, throws a strike to Amendola down to the 23-yard line. That'll be short of a first down. High about a yard, wrapped up by Walter Thurman.
Philadelphia had the advantage on the mix-up on the handoff. You go to 2nd and 12. Brady connects with Amendola, and now you got 3rd and less than 1. Everyone talks about making sure you stay consistent, moving the football. Made it all up, and now they're going heavy with the lineup. Cameron Fleming, 71, comes into the game. Shaq Mason, 69. Up front.
Easy. Alert! Alert! Brady will keep it himself. How many times have we seen him do that through the years?
He is textbook on how you actually run a quarterback sneak. Because many young quarterbacks, what happens is they run it from up high. Watch how he gets low, gets down in behind his line and burrows. Because if you run it from up high and they pop you upright, you have no momentum to run the football. Tom Brady gets down low and churns his legs and follows his big guys into the crease.
Well, he looks for the hole. You know, when you don't have defensive tackles in both the A-gaps on either side of the center, making that push, he's just going to pick one way. They're going to double team it, come down, and he's too big of a guy not to get 1 yard.
LeGarrette Blount once more cuts it back to the inside, still on his feet, dragging tacklers all the way down to the 10, and another first down for the Patriots.
Garrett Blount running with nice vision. I think Sebastian Vollmer, 76, will come into your picture from the left side. Look how he blocked down and caved in one side of the line and gave that opening to LeGarrette Blount. Good job by the big guy they call Seabass, number 76 in blue.
One had 9 carries for 27 yards in a loss on Sunday night in Denver. And as Tony touched on earlier, the elements are certainly a lot better here tonight. Already 43 rushing yards. Amendola left wide open, and that is a touchdown for the Patriots.
Amendola 80 goes in motion, and let's see who's supposed to end up picking him up. He runs inside. Walter Thurman starts there and totally loses it right from the beginning. It's almost as if Walter Thurman was supposed to bump down on his coverage inside to take Amendola, but he did it late. It's almost like he recognized it a step after he was into his route, and that's way too late with a quick guy like Danny Amendola.
What a great read by Tom Brady. He threw that ball even before Amendola made the cut to the corner.
Gostkowski has not missed a point after the entire year, nor will he miss this one. A pair of touchdowns here in the second quarter puts New England in front, 14-0.
Today's game is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation that excites.
The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award is presented by Nationwide and has a long history of honoring those who have impacted both the game and their communities. Every team in the NFL nominates one player for the award. 3 finalists will be announced in January. The winner selected on February the 6th. And for the Eagles, it's Connor Barwin and his foundation, Make the World Better. And great work done here in the greater Boston area by Devin McCourty.
Terrific job. He's got a twin brother, Tennessee. And look at this.
Trying to catch Philadelphia napping, and the Eagles were ready for it.
Courtney's twin brother worked on the foundation together.
Shea Ajira Tutu covering that one up.
And look at this. How about that? Gostkowski just lobs it over there. I think what they're trying to do is get Philadelphia saying, now, what are you doing? What is that? And then they just tried a little, almost darn near a drop kick. And just popped it over there. As you just noted, hoping to catch them napping, but they gave up excellent field position for a Philadelphia offense that sorely needs it.
All right, 4 drives, 4 punts in the first game back in 3 weeks for Sam Bradford. Good protection this time. And he finds his leading target, their leading receiver in back-to-back years, Jordan Matthews.
Guys, one of the staples of a Chip Kelly offense is yards after the catch for receivers. It's almost built into the offense. What are they not getting so far? They're getting some completions, but excellent tackling by the Patriots is keeping the play right where it's caught.
DeMarco Murray is dropped 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage by the #1 pick out of Texas, Malcolm Brown.
Nice penetration right up the middle by Malcolm Brown.
Tony, this is just like you. Watch the middle of the line of scrimmage as he just sees it, breaks through, and runs down Murray as he tries to move laterally.
The great thing about the penetration up the middle is Murray had nowhere to go. He had to go the direction he was going. There's no way for him to cut back because of that penetration.
Last 4 touches for Murray on the ground. 1 yard, 1 yard, loss of 2, loss of 6. Bradford, beautiful throw and catch to Matthews. And that is a first down to the New England 39-yard line. That's exactly what Bradford and the Eagles need.
And how about how Sam Bradford stood in there on this one? Watch the route. You see Jordan Matthews break into the secondary and run away there from Patrick Chung. And Sam Bradford stood firm with a blitz in his face and delivered it.
Needs to protect that ball, Matthews. Chung got it out there at the end of the run.
Sproles has been their most effective runner so far today, and that continues to hold true.
How about that balance, Charles?
Not only the balance, but Tony, he just hits the hole quickly. And I think that's a big part of what they're needing in this offense, is a guy who just puts his foot in the ground and goes. You know, it's hard when you go lateral, because these guys run you down too easily.
They fake it to Sproles, dump it off to Selleck. And the big tight end is inside the 11-yard line, close to the 10. So the Eagles, for the first time, knocking on the door of getting on the scoreboard.
Looked like a good block downfield by Aguilar, too, the wide receiver, to help out. But this is Philadelphia's offense. Now they've got a little pace going. New England gave them good field position, and so far they're taking advantage of it on this drive.
They can get a first down as the ball is spotted at the 11. Cutting it back to the inside is Kenyon Barner, and he got back to the line of scrimmage. Well, Charles, you know what a lot of Eagles fans are saying right now. If what you just said is true about this style of offense, and Chip Kelly is a general manager and the head coach, then why would you go spend a fortune to sign DeMarco Murray?
I think he thought DeMarco could fit into it. And what he's found out so far is that what we're seeing today, Barner and Sproles run these plays better than when Murray runs them thus far today. They get to the hole quicker.
Barner again slips his way down to the 5-yard line. It brings up third down and a long 4. So it'll be spotted, it looks like, just outside the 5.
Because you know scouting, Tom and Tony, we're not always right when we make an assessment of a guy.
Yep.
I mean, think all the people who passed on Brady. I mean, it's an easy one, right? How did we not see this greatness? How did anyone not get that? So it happens as we go along.
They play this drive trailing 14-0, 3rd and 4. Riley Cooper in motion. And Bradford looking around. And he finds Zach Ertz in the back of the end zone for a touchdown.
Nice job by the offensive line and giving Sam Bradford plenty of time to find Ertz.
And Ertz shaken up after making that touchdown catch.
There he is right here. Just came back from a concussion, missed a ball game. Look at that little shake move on Devin McCourty. Do you see how he looked to the outside and then worked back inside? Kind of a modified route that they call the stick nod. Put the stick move and then nod back. You give him that nod and go back inside. Got it there, and Bradford delivered. Well done by the Philadelphia Eagles.
We talk about all the injuries for New England. We touched on Ryan Matthews being out for Philadelphia. Ertz has missed the last game as well. So they're thrilled to have him back. And it all began with Bill Belichick and the Patriots trying to surprise Philly. It didn't work, and it comes back to nip them. Bradford 4 of 4 on that drive for 47 yards. It was Ertz with a touchdown catch, not Selleck. But the Eagles on the board at 14-7. They trail. Keyshawn Martin out of his own end zone, and a nice return, although a penalty flag comes in out to the 25-yard line.
I haven't seen a flag in a long time. Really surprised, guys.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 43, the receiving team, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Friday, it's the Ultimate Fire finale.
Wow! Unbelievable!
Then Saturday, I plan to obliterate Jose Aldo on the biggest night in UFC history.
Oh,
so don't miss the prelims. Live and free, only on FS1.
All right, Mr. Davis, Mr. Siragusa, can this Philadelphia defense, after shutting down New England to begin the game, but the last 2 drives, each 80 yards, resulting in touchdowns?
We've seen this defense be good, really good at times during the season. We saw them start the game, as you noted, early that way. They should have a little extra bounce in their step after their offense just gave them 7 points.
Starting inside their own 10 is Brady, and tipped into the air. Incomplete with an eye on Martin.
You know what? This Eagles defense, I think they can't just sit back. They need to go and bring some pressure, take some chances. They have nothing to lose as a group. And I think that's the way they can get to Tom Brady. I mean, they got to get him, in his face, right up the middle, put some pressure on him. But then again, Tom Brady's just going to keep his eyes downfield, and, you got to cover, too.
And, Tony, I think all year long, New England has wanted to beat you throwing the ball. If I'm Philadelphia, I'm going to make them prove that they'll actually run it for sustained periods of time before I alter anything. I'm going after Brady.
Swinging out of the backfield to Bolden. That didn't fool the Philadelphia defense. And, getting back to this Philly defense, when you allow 45 or more, you give up 10 touchdown passes over the last 2 games, 90 points. That's all everyone's talking about. going into week 10, I mean, you look at some of the analytics that are out there, and Football Outsiders have this Eagles defense ranked number 6. Pro Football Focus had them number 4. And then the wheels fall off. Now, how much stock you want to put in all of that, that's up to you. But they were taking the ball away regularly, and now they've not taken it away in 3 weeks. But they have forced a critical 3-and-out here. And with under 3:15 to go until halftime and all 3 timeouts remaining along with a 2-minute warning, they're looking at good field position.
Look at the coverage here. And normally a safety covering in the slot, that's a mismatch for the receiver. That's an advantage for Danny Amendola. But Malcolm Jenkins came into the NFL as a cornerback, and he can cover in there.
Low line drive punt. Sproles will play it on a bounce. And he is tackled at his own 45-yard line. Well, naturally, when you play the way the Eagles have played, it's going to be a rough week. 3 straight losses. Some of the headlines from the Philadelphia Inquirer and the Daily News. DeMarco Murray even quoted after the Thanksgiving Day game, a collective effort has gotten us to where we are. This is where you have to find out about the character and the fight of the football team. And Tony, that's what you brought up earlier. Who are your leaders? Bradford on first down finds a wide open Sproles. And he's all the way inside New England territory to the 40-yard line. Sproles a huge factor in this opening half.
And look at what happened after the 4 punts on their first 4 drives. The touchdown drive on the last one after the onside kick attempt, so to speak, by New England. And Philadelphia on the march again.
Bradford hit as he threw, and it was nearly right into the hands of a waiting Gerard Mayo. It looked like Chung put the hit on Sam Bradford.
Yeah, it came from the backside for him, okay? So it comes over here, right at him. Chung showed man coverage, and then as you noted, Tom, came from his cover position and puts the hit on Bradford and makes the pass go awry. Almost collected by Gerard Mayo, number 51. Patrick Chung's having a very nice season for New England. Back in town after 1 year last season with Philadelphia.
Aguilar in motion. They put it in the hands of Sproles. And Ninkovich here to meet it behind the line of scrimmage. But what a dependable player he has turned into.
He just set the edge on that play. He came upfield, turned in. Nowhere for Sproles to go. Sproles had to make a cutback and just got engulfed by Patriot players.
Love what you said there, Tony, setting the edge. People always talk about defensive ends, outside linebackers in terms of sacks and getting after the quarterback. How about those guys who can set the edge against the run game? That allows those sack masters to get busy. Absolutely.
Well, this will take us down to the 2-minute warning. A 3rd and 13 coming up. Eagles at the minimum trying to get within field goal range. We'll take a timeout. Back in a moment. Get apps, videos, and more at iTunes.com/NFL. It's interesting to note the Philadelphia Eagles are the only team in the National Football League who has not scored a touchdown in the final 2 minutes of the first half.
Wow, that's a New England specialty. They score, then they get the ball to start the second half, and they are getting the ball to start the second half today. Let's see what they do on defense here.
They need about 8 to get within field goal range. Bradford all day to throw it. And there's Sproles, who doesn't get at least a season long for their kicker, Caleb Sturgis. Do you think about going for it here on 4th down? I mean, you're in kind of no man's land.
Yeah, that's always in the arsenal with Philadelphia, with Chip Kelly. You always keep your defense out there and prepare for that, because he could very easily change up and decide to go for it because of where they are.
Yeah, we got a timeout, guys.
And that is a timeout taken by Bill Belichick in New England. You know what he's thinking about, Charles, if they do go for it here and they fail, we're sitting on really good field position to try and add to the 7-point lead. We talked about New England coming off its first loss of the season, all the injuries, of course, most notably last week to Rob Gronkowski. We also noted, and you and Tony both thought, that Philadelphia would come to play, and so far that the Eagles have done.
That professional pride does kick in, and they've had enough of being embarrassed and ridiculed over the last couple of weeks. You've mentioned it already during the game. This was a very good Eagles defense through the first 8 weeks of the season. They lost it in these last couple of games, but it's the same people. No reason they can't get it back, and they've been very aggressive in what they've done so far today and made things very tough on Tom Brady and the Patriots moving the football.
Chip Kelly made the decision. He's going to go ahead and punt the ball. Over in by Jones. Amendola already signaling for a fair catch at the 14. All right, coming up on the Visa halftime report.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Show, we are live from Pearl Harbor. And as you can see, it's been an amazing day in this historic location, surrounded by the brave men and women who protect our country. And of course, there's been plenty of exciting football to discuss, so make sure you come back and join us live from Pearl Harbor on the Visa Halftime.
Well, what a spectacular setting today for Fox NFL Sunday. They've gone overseas, of course, to Afghanistan in the past. And today from Pearl Harbor. Holden cuts it wide to the left, and he's thrown down at the 19-yard line. Patriots have 2 timeouts remaining and 1:20 to go.
And they don't seem to be in a big rush here. They get the ball to start the second half. Bolden, look how they finish here. B.J. Biggers, 38. Malcolm Jenkins, 27. Nice, collaborate well for a tackle. But it doesn't look like New England is really worried about trying to get some points on the board here.
Well, we mentioned they will get the ball to begin the second half, and again they'll hand it off to Brandon Bolden. And he's up to the 33. That'll be a first down. We have enough time right now to change your mind.
The clock has stopped.
Patriots call a timeout. I beg your pardon, it's a timeout, Philadelphia. Well, now they're saying New England. They just pointed in the wrong direction there. If you weren't here earlier this morning, take a look.
We welcome you to Pearl Harbor for a very special edition of Fox NFL Sunday.
Mike, that's not how you do.
What is all that?
I don't know.
You know, it's great to see a number of the Pearl Harbor survivors here with us. We've done a lot of pretty cool things here at Fox Sports. It's about as cool as it gets.
That is as good as it gets, and we thank all those who have served, are serving, and those who will serve. Brady sacked back at the 30. Brandon Graham and a couple of other Eagles dropping Brady for the 3rd time today. And the injured Eagle is Fletcher Cox.
And they'll afford to lose him. One of the better defensive linemen in the league. Last time we saw him in person, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles against New Orleans.
Yeah, he's been a force to be reckoned with here. Big loss if he doesn't come back.
And this is how Fletcher Cox got injured right there. Brian Stork blocking on him. There he is trying to make it keep Tom Brady clean, and Tom Brady actually pirouetted right into Josh Klein, his offensive lineman, and knocked himself down. Fletcher Cox on the bench was getting some attention when we first got him there.
40 seconds remain. Second down carry by James White up to the 38-yard line. Clock down to 30, and both teams content to let it continue to run.
What do you think, guys? Shot downfield?
Why not?
Why not, right?
A little high for the intended receiver, Scott Chandler. And that's 4th down.
Was that really for Chandler, or was that for Keyshawn Martin and Chandler got in the way? It was interesting because the two were very close to each other on their routes.
It's a good question. You just can't put into words. As this is blocked by Philadelphia, and it will lead to a touchdown. Najee Good recovers the block punt, and my, oh my, how that changes the complexion of this game. It looked like it was Chris Maragos who blocked the punt.
And his description of himself as a special teams guy is that he is a speed penetrator. And he comes right up the middle, untouched, does Maragos. And Najee Good on the spot, scoops and scores. Maragos has been a terrific special teams player his entire career. He's got more time on defense this year, but that's where his value is. He says he's a speed penetrator. He lived up to it on that play. Huge block for Philadelphia.
Right now the game-tying point after, right through the uprights by Caleb Sturgis. This was a Philadelphia team that had 7 touchdowns on special teams a year ago.
And watch how clean he comes through the middle, does Maragos. Everyone's blocking elsewhere, and he comes right through. That's a really nice job by the special teams of Philadelphia, because a lot of the time when you draw up a block, your job is to draw people to you, not get the block. And that's exactly what they did, was set it up so that Maragos could have a path to the punter. He took it right off his foot. I mean, you talk about that was block punt 101. And the first block punt touchdown allowed by New England in 97 games. Last one against the Jets in 2009.
You know, it's interesting. You look at a 3-game losing streak now. After a 9-3 start to last year, the Eagles lost 3 in a row. And when the year came to an end, that is when Chip Kelly came out and said, look, we had 7 special teams touchdowns. We turned it over 36 times. And we had a defense that couldn't get off the field. And what followed has been a turbulent and really transformative 12 months since that season ended last year, a 10-win year, where they did not make the playoffs. They changed quarterbacks. They trade LaShawn McCoy. They released 2 Pro Bowl guards. They let Jeremy Maclin walk as a free agent. They cut their entire secondary. Trent Cole not here anymore. I mean, it has been a whirlwind 12 months. Special teams haven't done much this year, but this is a big one.
And remember, this is how it started. This is Nate Ebner trying a little rugby punt, you know, because Nate Ebner played rugby before he walked on at Ohio State, and then there's the block by Maragos. Remember, the rugby kick by Ebner gave Philadelphia the ball around their own 40-yard line. They cashed it in with a touchdown. The block punt obviously cashed in for a second touchdown. New England was actually really going for the dagger shot with the onside kick. They were up 14-0 and thought we could really gain an advantage and didn't. And what a way to end the first half for Philadelphia.
You know, it's so
12
funny.
players on defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You know, it's so interesting, Charles. We wondered would the Patriots try and make something happen. They started by running the ball on the drive. And then you and Tony asked the question, do you take a shot here? And everybody's saying, why not? Bill Belichick will say after the game, I made the decision to give it a shot, but if we turn around and hand it off, they don't block that punt. Clock runs out to end the half. And there are some boo birds here in New England.
Tough crowd.
14-14 at halftime. We go to Kurt Menefee for the Visa halftime, which starts now. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Tom Brady goes to number 3 on the all-time touchdown passing list. And then got his 30th touchdown pass of his season. 6-year, he's done that, 4th most of all time. Then perhaps a little cute. Tried to trick him with that little pooch kick by Ebner. Led to a touchdown. And then the block punt in the final seconds of the opening half by Maragos, leading to a Najee Good return for a touchdown. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. And well, I'm not sure anybody, Charles Davis, figured 14-14. New England coming off a loss. We know about all the injuries, but Philadelphia right where perhaps not even they thought they would be.
And one of the big reasons we are at 14-14 is that New England went for the dagger shot. The onside kick where they tossed it from Gostkowski to Nate Ebner, the former rugby player, tried to pooch it over the top, gave them good field position, gave Philadelphia a little extra life. They took advantage of it and scored. And then, of course, the block punt. A big, big deal right there. But New England opened themselves up, and Philadelphia stepped right through.
Patriots get the ball to begin the second half. And dropped at the 20-yard line is Keyshawn Martin. Check in downstairs with Tony Siragusa. Just got finished chatting with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I got a chance to speak with both coaches. And first, Bill Belichick said, we can't make those mistakes. That's not the team that we are. They need to go and recapture the momentum because obviously Philadelphia with that punt block and that touchdown, they have the momentum right now. Chip Kelly, he really likes the matchup with Sproles on their linebackers. He says we have to keep feeding Sproles the ball, and we cannot go and let up on the pressure that we're bringing on Brady. We have to be consistent. We got to keep coming after Brady.
Well, they've sacked him 3 times so far. But Garrett Blunt on first down, and that'll be a gain of almost 5.
But you talk about the pressure, Tom and Charles. You know, what Philadelphia is doing is they're bringing the pressure up the middle. They're trying to make Tom Brady escape on the outside. They're giving him that option because they think that they can get some bigger hits on him. So I'm really not surprised at all by the movement and how Tom Brady's working the pocket a little bit. But Philadelphia's doing a good job of getting the pressure right up the middle. Keep an eye on that.
Total yards for each team identical, 161. Wow. What a hit delivered by the rookie Eric Rowe on James White.
And what a difference a week makes for Eric Rowe. Remember, Thanksgiving Day, people were talking about Eric Rowe being the turkey that day because he had to deal with Calvin Johnson. A very difficult spot for a veteran cornerback, let alone a rookie, and Calvin really carved him up. But today, Eric Rowe has more than held his own, almost came up with an interception in the first half.
Rowe making his first NFL start, as Charles mentioned. He was 7 years old when Tom Brady was drafted by the New England Patriots. And Brady carries and picks up a first down up to the 31-yard line. There he goes again. Brings a smile to his face every time he's able to get up when you get to be 38.
And it's almost like yep, I got him again. This is kind of fun, guys. But you know what I'm eager to see in the second half, fellas? Is I want to see if New England decides to really be a little more dedicated to running the football and tamp down some of the pressure that Philadelphia put on Tom Brady in the first half. If they don't, Philadelphia keep pinning their ears back and getting after him.
First down throw, and broken up. He had an eye on Bolden out of the backfield, and Kiko Alonso in on coverage.
Guys, got a quick report. Number 91, Fletcher Cox, has been cleared for any concussion symptoms.
It's good news.
Really good news, first and foremost. The second part of that is that Fletcher Cox is out on the field playing very well for Philadelphia. That's what they need, that big fella up front. But right now, Chip Kelly talked about how execution fuels emotion. The better Philadelphia continues to execute, the more emotion we're seeing from them. They are quick to the football so far.
Second down at 10. Brady steps up. In trouble, and down he goes. I'm not sure that'll be credited as a sack because it looked like he gained yards, maybe 2 yards. But again, the pressure there by Vinny Curry.
And as you continue to run out of players when guys get hurt and you're filling in with other people, trying to find someone open is more and more difficult. We saw it at the top of the screen. There's Scott Chandler, 88, trying to get open. He's not open. And finally, Vinny Curry gets home. It's not a sack, but again, continued pressure on Tom Brady.
They need to get to the 41-yard line on this 3rd and 9. Crossing pattern by LaFell. And what a shot delivered by Walter Thurman that appeared him about a yard short of a first down. Wow, what a play by Thurman.
Here's Thurman, 26. It's going to be a crossing route by LaFell. Watch how he closes. And it's Thurman right there with Byron Maxwell trailing. And how huge was that? Because that stopped them short of the first down. And now New England runs the punting unit out on the field. Excellent defensive possession by Philadelphia.
And alertly, the Eagles getting off the field. Good punt. It's Sproles, let's bounce. Not a good decision by the veteran Sproles there. It'll be down to the 6-yard line. But it's a 14-14 game. The Eagles in Foxborough get the football when we return.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By the Ford F-150, every other truck is history. And by State Farm, it pays to double check. Talk to your agent today.
The Division VI Super Bowl right here at Gillette Field. The Mashpee Falcons beating St. Bernard's. MVP of that game, number 5, Deshaun Diaz. Matt Treeberry, their head coach. And we thank the Kraft Sports for all that footage. We had a long visit with Robert Kraft earlier today about him making the decision to hold Massachusetts State Finals here. Boy, he missed a wide open receiver. That ball appeared to hit the ground. It did. Now they're going to look at it more than likely, or at least the Patriots are upstairs, and they'll notify Bill Belichick as to whether or not he should challenge. But it looked like the ball hit the ground.
I agreed with you. There's a tip off of Zach Ertz. That's Deron Harmon, 30, trying to get his hands underneath.
Looked like it bounced there, guys.
I saw a bounce on the first part, but that wouldn't be definitive. Right, that hit the ground. Hit the ground initially. So that's not going to be an interception for them. But look at the field position for Philadelphia playing backed up.
DeMarco Murray, he has been completely shut down here today. 6 carries for 2 yards.
And how about hidden yardage, guys? Look at this play here. This was the punt. The ball bounces on the 22. And because Matthew Slater eyeballed Darren Sproles and wouldn't let him move towards the football, it rolled dead deep in their territory. That's an additional 15 yards gained for New England in hidden yardage and has Philadelphia backed up.
3rd down and 9. Bradford had all day to throw, and they're throwing a 3-yard out. So obviously good coverage in the New England secondary. And the Eagles will punt it away in a 14-14 affair.
And guys, that play by Slater, it won't go in the books. You know, there was no tackle on the play, right? He didn't grab the ball. But his ability to get in front of Sproles and not let him move to the ball has helped them in a big way.
Tony Jones, very short punt. And it'll be down in Philadelphia territory at the 44-yard line. This will be the 18th drive, started inside the opponent's territory for the Patriots this year. That's 4th most in the league. And critically important in a 14-14 game here in the 3rd. Chandler to the 40-yard line. That'll be a gain of 6 on 1st down.
I'll tell you what, guys, what really is impressing me on both of these teams is the tackling in the open field. Not a lot of hidden yardage like you talked about earlier, Charles, for both of these defenses.
And Bill Davis, the defense coordinator for Philadelphia, told us that part of the reason they've struggled recently is the tackling had fallen off, and they had to work on it. And we talked to Bill Belichick, and he said, we work on tackling in every practice in some form or another.
Short drop. Brady walks it to the sideline. He finds Martin, and that's good enough for a 1st down to the Philadelphia 33-yard line.
And you know what we're seeing right there, guys? The running game of New England. That's their way of running the football right now.
No, because
short
look
passing
at the numbers
there.
this year, Charles. They are averaging 22 rushing attempts a game. That's the lowest in franchise history. They're at 87 yards a game. That's the lowest since 2002. And their yards per carry, the lowest in 11 years.
Hey, I got 59.
Now, does that have to do with the offensive line and all the juggling they've had to do with injuries? Brady able to find a hammock back there in the pocket. Drops it off to Amendola, loses the football. That is ruled by the officials as an incompleted pass.
Ruling on the field, it's an incomplete pass.
Tom Brady not known for his movement skills, but this is the 2nd time today he's moved out of the pocket and dropped a perfect pass to a receiver. And what they're ruling is that Danny Amendola never possessed the football, didn't control it after the catch before it came out of his arms. Philadelphia wants it to be a catch and then a fumble.
You can't challenge this.
He comes out 1 foot, 2 feet, but the ball's juggling in his arms. He never takes it to his chest and tucks it away.
What are you calling? We got
Second down and 10. As you just talked about, Charles, it's like a running play, a good running play. That'll be a gain of 6, maybe 7. Third down coming up.
And you see Amendola, watch the ball continue to move in his hands, not really tucked away there. That ball continues to move. That's what they're determining. Tony, you and I play defense. That's a catch and a fumble as far as I'm concerned. I'm telling you, as a defensive guy, that's a catch and a fumble.
Third down. James White out of the backfield inside the 15, cuts it back inside the 10, the 5, and down to the 1-yard line.
What a great misdirection play for the New England Patriots. Woo.
Yeah, watch how they end up taking things here and then bringing him out this way. See how they set that motion, and then they sent the blockers back the other way.
And then dropped in the backfield, the man who just made that reception. That's Malcolm Jenkins coming up to make the tackle for a loss of 4.
He may have had a lot to say in the media last week, but he came to play today, didn't he? As he does every week, Malcolm Jenkins.
He's a pro's pro on the field, off the field. I mean, he is a man of tremendous character, great leader.
Hey, what are we doing?
I think every team in the NFL would love to have Malcolm Jenkins on their team.
95! Hey, you gotta come this way.
Brady just throws it away. Third down and goal.
Let's go back to what Tony talked about, the idea of what Chip Kelly had mentioned. They want Tom Brady moving out of the pocket, and they don't mind him moving towards the sidelines. Mobile quarterbacks, the Russell Wilsons of the world, you want them boxed in and contained because they can hurt you getting outside. Tom Brady won't do that running the ball. They just want him off his mark throwing it.
26! Hey, read it!
Trips to the left, Amendola, Chandler, and Keyshawn Martin. And Brady has it intercepted, and that's Malcolm Jenkins on his feet to the 20, the 25, crossing midfield. Malcolm Jenkins will go the distance for a touchdown. No penalty flags on the field, and don't look now. The Eagles lead for the first time in this game.
Momentum swing after momentum swing in this game. Unbelievable. That's what happens on the defensive side when you're relentless and you keep attacking the ball, you keep running and making things happen.
So take a look here. This is Amendola going to run the route into the teeth of the defense. And Brady tried to thread it through double coverage. I think that ball was tipped by Walter Thurman, number 26, and off of the tip drill, which DBs work on all the time. Malcolm Jenkins goes 100 yards the other way for 6.
The Philadelphia Eagles have never beaten Tom Brady. One of 8 teams that Brady's never lost to. Of course, we're not talking about wins and losses, but what we are talking about, it's the first time the Eagles have ever intercepted Tom Brady, and they run it back from 100 yards away.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Better matters.
This season streamed live local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. For the first time in their last 9 quarters of football, the Philadelphia Eagles have a lead. And they're in the hardest place to win in all the NFL, New England.
And this is why they're in the lead. Walter Thurman tips it up. Malcolm Jenkins took it 100 yards. And who says there's strife in Philadelphia?
21-14, Philadelphia in front. So for the first time of the game, Brady and the Patriots take the field on the short end of the scoreboard, end around by Martin. Penalty flag in the backfield.
Illegal block in the back, number 76, offense, 10-yard penalty still. First down.
Big Sebastian Vollmer, the culprit. New England trying to manufacture some run game with a little end around. Earlier in the game, we saw him with a jet sweep to Damaris Johnson, number 15.
Now you look back over the Hall of Fame career of Tom Brady to give you an idea of how rare it is that we just saw. He's thrown over 1,000 passes in his career in the red zone. That is the 19th time he's been intercepted. Looking for Martin down the field, and again it's Malcolm Jenkins in coverage, incomplete. Second down and 20.
Malcolm Jenkins is coming from here, and he's got him in his kind of a little wheel route. They're trying to get Keyshawn Martin isolated on the safety. And again, Malcolm Jenkins, former corner, has excellent coverage skills and goes into the slot and covers often, even as a safety. Normally you take a nickel cornerback and put him in there, but Malcolm Jenkins serves in that role for Philadelphia.
In the hands of Amendola, blockers in front of him, and a gain of close to 10. It brings up third down and that distance for New England. You know, you just wonder, we talked about it from the very beginning. When they played in Denver last week, they only had 3 wide receivers that were on the active roster. And they had a combined 23 receptions on the year. Without Lewis, Edelman, Amendola, Aaron Dobson, that's 60% of their receptions. And Amendola somehow hangs on to the football despite taking a shot from Walter Thurman, and they convert on third down and long.
How about this footwork and pocket presence by Brady? Because look what's all around him. And you see him move forward, backward, side, and finds Amendola. And how about the catch at the other end? He knows he's about to take the big shot, brings it down, and avoids a lot of that from Walter Thurman and picks up a first down.
First game back for Amendola in 2 weeks, 6 catches for better than 60 yards. This time Brady will not get away from Brandon Graham, and there is a penalty flag in the backfield. It's going to be holding against New England.
Holding. Number 66, offense, 10-yard penalty still, first down.
Let's check in for a game break back in Los Angeles.
All right, Tom, just like the Eagles, the Panthers have come back from a 14-0 deficit against the Saints. Cam Newton to Ted Ginn Jr. from the Ohio State Tom. 13-yard TD reception. 2016 Panthers trying to keep the undefeated season going. Clinched the division earlier today. Tom, back to you.
And too bad, Mr. Hill, the Ohio State University Buckeyes are not in the college football playoff. For those of us who hail from the Buckeye State, we're not happy about that, Mr. Davis.
You're still the defending champions till they crown a new one.
I understand.
In early 2016.
I mean, you lose one stinking game.
You got a towel up there for him, Charles?
I'm giving him a hug right now, Tony.
I was looking for Pitt's name somewhere around there.
We're hugging it out.
Brady. Maybe a little low, perhaps a catchable ball there for Martin. So third down and 17 coming up.
You know, when we met with Tom Brady, I asked him about the constant changing of receivers and people and running backs and how do you handle all that? And his quote to me was, "I'm about dependability. I just want to know that you're going to be where I expect you to be, and then you earn my trust." And he's been pretty happy with this group coming in to mix and match. But right there was one that they couldn't connect on.
Third and 17, great protection. Now it begins to break down, and Brady thought about pulling the trigger, and now he'll run it. And will slide down short of the first down, wisely so at the 37.
After watching that run, now you know why they want to get him out of the pocket, Charles.
Exactly right. He's not going to hurt him with his legs, especially if they take away the guys who can hurt them downfield, which are the receivers. And Tony, we saw it on the first shot. There's Rafael, 19, Amendola, 80. Excellent coverage downfield by the Eagles secondary, which led to Tom Brady's aborted scramble.
Well, the last time you may remember, Sproles had it bounce, and it cost him big-time field position. And he will handle this one from the 18-yard line. Look out. Sproles down the sideline with a punter to beat. Still on his feet, no penalty flags. 100-yard return on an interception by Jenkins. And now an 83-yard punt return for a touchdown by Darren Sproles. And don't forget, oh, by the way, a block punt return for a touchdown in this game.
And sometimes it's the block you don't make. Watch Chris Marigo's 42 because he makes a really intelligent play downfield. He's going to come from all the way in the interior, and watch him here. He could throw a block against Nate Ebner to be a clip. See what he does? Look at that. See what he does? He just kind of shields him off and doesn't throw the block. And that allows Sproles to get started on his way to the touchdown. If he makes that block, this play doesn't happen.
Well, you look at the 21 points scored by the Eagles of their 28. They blocked a punt, returned for a touchdown. Jenkins, the 100-yard interception, returned for a touchdown. Now Sproles for a 14-point lead.
Okay. Now watch me whip.
In a quarter where the Philadelphia offense has run a grand total of 3 offensive plays, accumulating 1 whole yard, they have scored 14 points and lead by 14 points.
Defense, special teams. Everyone talks about 3 phases of football, but 2 of the phases have given Philadelphia a 14-point lead.
Keyshawn Martin from the goal line and does not even get to the 17-yard line. We rarely see the Patriots make mistakes like we've seen today.
They were trying to go for the big shot there. They were up 14 and they went for an onside kick, didn't get it. Philadelphia scored. That was the touchdown that resulted. Then the block punt by Chris Maragos and Najee Good scored. Then that's tipped up by Walter Thurman. Malcolm Jenkins takes it back 100 yards, and then the block, Chris Maragos doesn't throw. Helps Mr. Sproles, Darren Sproles, go all the way for a touchdown and puts him up 2 touchdowns. There's Joe Judge, the special teams coordinator, trying to get things figured out on the Patriots sideline.
So down 14, they're going to start this drive with a rare run by LeGarrette Blount. So offensively, the Eagles have scored 1 touchdown, 7 of their 28 points. They had the block punt at the end of the second quarter just before halftime. Malcolm Jenkins from the goal line, a tip pass by Thurman. Jenkins returns at 100 yards. And the punt return, the 3rd in history, with all 3 in 1 game. LeGarrette Blount to the 25-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and a little more than 3.
I'm thinking Josh McDaniels on those 2 runs there. He's trying to find something that's going to get him back in sync. You know, maybe calm things down a little bit. Can you get 2 good runs to set him up for 3rd manageable, which is exactly what they did. And now I think he puts it back in the hands of Brady on this 3rd down to throw the ball.
We're only in the 3rd quarter with 3 minutes left to go, but this feels like a very important 3rd down for this New England offense.
Hey, Joe! Clemson! What is it? Gotta go!
And they snap it, and now here comes a double reverse, and they throw the ball to Brady. Across midfield, will step out of bounds. How about that? Amendola and Brady on the receiving end.
Under Bill Belichick's direction, New England has never been shy about doing things. Brady makes it look like he's got some confusion. They direct snap it, I believe, to James White. He tosses it to Danny Amendola, and he hits Tom Brady. See, Brady, he's doing a great acting job there. And now he sneaks out and catches the ball.
Nice catch.
And guess what, guys? Julian Edelman didn't throw the ball. The former quarterback from Kent State, it was Danny Amendola, the slot receiver.
It's the 2nd time in Brady's career he's caught a pass. And now he's looking for the end zone. And he throws it right into the waiting arms of Byron Maxwell. And you can only wonder about the communication between a lot of these new faces.
Remember in the first quarter when I talked about Brandon LaFell not finishing a route? Let's see what happens here as they go downfield. LaFell coming across field, and then he kind of cuts it short. You see that? And Tom Brady's expecting him to take it all the way to the end zone. And so the receiver became the defensive back. Byron Maxwell had a nice little chat with him in pregame. You see Tom Brady, I thought you were going to the end zone. And he cut it short on it. Had a nice little chat with Maxwell in pregame. He said, hey, you the commentator, say something nice about me. Byron Maxwell, excellent play. Does that count?
That counts. The way it's been going for that secondary, they'll take whatever nugget they can get. Aaron Sproles finding a little daylight, cuts it back to the inside, up to the 28-yard line, a gain of 8 on first down. As we close in on 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
This guy has been the game of momentum swings.
That was only the 4th offensive play of this entire half of the Eagles. And yet they scored 2 touchdowns. Sproles spins his way to a first down, up to the 31.
Tony, I played high school basketball for my dad, and he used to talk about old momentum, old Mo, as if Mo were a person. Right now, Mo's hugging that guy right there, Chip Kelly. Mo's got his arm around Chip's shoulder saying, all right, big guy, you got me now. Can you keep me?
Yeah, we talked about it in the open. The Patriots, reigning world champs, no matter who comes in this stadium or where they play, they're going to get the best from the opponent.
It's interesting, even though the Eagles do not huddle up, they nearly burned all of the play clock. Let's check in quickly back in Los Angeles for a game break.
All right, guys, Saints still fighting against the Panthers. Drew Brees back to pass, finds Brandon Cooks and guiding 54-yard touchdown. It's a 3-point game. 2-point conversion was good in the third quarter. Tom Charles, back to you.
Good one there, good one here. And again, after calling a play, everyone looks to the sideline, perhaps changing it up.
Reminds you of college, doesn't it?
It does. Sproles. No, Barner, I beg your pardon, up to the 38-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 3 for the Eagles. And of course, this is a real knock, Charles. And I know we're only in the third quarter, but 7-8 seconds here, 9-10 seconds there. They do add up, and right here they're going to go ahead and let him wind down to end the third quarter. So we are on our way to the fourth quarter. No one giving Philadelphia a chance. Brady had a big reception, but then threw the interception, which killed the Patriots' drive. Well, we had a 14-14 game at halftime. That second touchdown for the Eagles in the final seconds off of a blocked punt. In the third quarter, they return an interception, 100 yards for a score, and an 83-yard punt return for a touchdown by Garrett Sproles. So here's 3rd and 2, and they hand it off. And Barner, a first down up to the 45-yard line.
Okay, guys. Kenyon Barner on a crucial 3rd down carry. That was not DeMarco Murray. What's he got, 6 carries for the game, 2 yards? Unless he's sick or there's something we just don't know about, I think Chip Kelly's telling us now that he trusts the other guys in the running game more in Darren Sproles and Kenyon Barner, who played for him at Oregon. And that's a weird situation for what they did to get DeMarco Murray last season.
On first down, they put it in the hands of Barner again, and he just runs right through McCourty up to the 48-yard line.
And you see how, that wasn't a huge run. But Tony, you watch how he finished that run?
Positive.
Okay, you remember the Miami game late in the game when DeMarco Murray didn't quite finish a run and then a teammate spoke out in the media?
Yep.
That's what they're looking for from their running backs. Finishing, trying to go forward, being a little bit more of a thumper. That's what they want out of them. I'm not trying to bury DeMarco Murray, but there has to be something going on that he's not getting carries today.
Yeah, Barner and Sproles, they finished the play exactly what you said. They're vertical. They're not running horizontal towards the sideline. They're running upfield. Here, turns it up. Boom, he goes for the extra extra yardage. Those 1 and 2 yards, and you talked about it earlier, Charles, it puts you in a manageable third down like we have right here.
But DeMarco Murray will now come in on this third down. Same down and distance they faced a moment ago when they put it in the hands of Barney. And everybody looking around wondering, what have we called here? Nearly 2 full minutes into this fourth quarter.
Murray's a good pass catcher out of the backfield as well.
Blitz coming. Bradford evades it. Throws. And the Eagles looking for a flag, and here it comes. That was Malcolm Butler trying to stay with Nelson Aguilar. And this will be a first down for the Eagles.
Tony, they had the gut pressure there, and Sam Bradford skipped to the
Pass
sideline.
interference, number 21 defense. Automatic first down.
See Butler 21 right there, and it's right there is where the penalty is. He grabs Aguilar, the upfield arm, before the ball gets there. But that gut pressure had Sam Bradford, up the middle by gut pressure. He danced to the sideline and was still able to make a play.
Bradford on first down, tipped into the air and incomplete. Now, Tony, I have heard you talk about this many times. Charles, I've heard you talk about it many times. I want to ask you, is it smart or is it just being simply stubborn? You have a 2-touchdown lead. Now, the clock stopped right now.
Right.
They snapped that ball with 23 seconds left on the play clock. Smart or stubborn?
Fine line with killing your own momentum at this stage of the game, in terms of trying to milk it too much and shutting your own self down.
Well, when you have Tom Brady on the other sideline, you want to eat up as much of the clock as possible.
First big run of the day for DeMarco Murray. That is a gain of 17 inside the New England 20-yard line.
You know what I think was going on with DeMarco Murray? They were just waiting for the right time to spring it.
There it is.
Oh, there you go.
How about that? That's an excellent run, but how about the blocking up front, and then DeMarco Murray with a very nice cut to gain additional yardage.
Turns out to be a gain of 19 as they spotted at the Patriots 18-yard line, trying to make this a 3-score game. Murray again. Trying to turn the corner, is run out of bounds.
Here's what we talked about right there, Charles, is the non-vertical run right there. He's got to go and turn it up.
I think, Tony, it feels like he's one of those visual guys. He has to see that gap, and then he goes. But if he doesn't see it, he'll continue to stretch it vertically until he feels it and goes. The other guys just kind of go to the gap early, don't they?
Yeah, they go in there. When there's no gap there, they make a gap. You got to get vertical because you're going to go run through an arm tackle, or you're going to go and make a hole yourself. You got to go and make things happen.
In the hands of Sproles, and he stays on his feet, reaching the 10-yard line. It'll be third down and a little more than a yard. Play of the drive coming up.
This defense has to make something happen. They need to go and catch the momentum like the Eagles did before the half.
Patriots ball timeout. But there's still a long way to go in this one. 28-14 Eagles.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. By Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by Target. Expect more, pay less.
Final round of the Franklin Templeton Shootout comes your way. 1 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox, streaming live on Fox Sports Go next Saturday.
I think they want to throw the ball here. Zach Ertz is a prime target in this situation.
Third down and 2. They fake the handoff to Sproles. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Jordan Matthews. And the Philadelphia Eagles have taken a 3-touchdown touchdown lead over the once-beaten New England Patriots.
So Jordan Matthews all the way across there. And Sam Bradford had patience. He wanted Ertz first. Devin McCurdy took that away, number 32. Waits for Jordan Matthews to clear across field, and he beats Malcolm Butler for the touchdown. And the Philadelphia Eagles now up 34-13, getting ready to kick the extra point.
And there are a number of the fans here in Foxborough on a beautiful December night that are starting to file out of here in a hurry. But there's still 11:09 to go, and the Patriots still have Tom Brady on their side. Point after is good. I'm not sure anybody on the planet gave the Eagles a chance. They lead by 21. Well, the executive chairman of News Corp, Rupert Murdoch, putting on his rally cap, sitting alongside Robert Kraft here in Foxborough. The Patriots clearly stunned. They once had a 14-0 lead in this game, and it is now 35-14 Philadelphia. Martin out of the end zone takes a big hit at the 17. Well, this January, one man is rewriting the book on how to survive adulthood. Get ready for the new Fox comedy, Cooper Barrett's Guide to Surviving Life. It premieres Sunday, January the 3rd, only on Fox.
Love the title. You know what it takes me back to? The early days of Fox. There was a show called Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
Really?
Yes, sir. I watched. I was there.
You might have been the only one.
The guys in that preview look like friends of mine from back home. I'm going to watch that one.
You know, we were talking about Philadelphia scoring 35 unanswered points against New England. The last time that happened to the Patriots was before Robert Kraft bought the team. 1993 in September that year against the New York Jets. 360 regular season games ago.
So you're saying it was a while ago?
A while ago.
Okay.
Tony was hanging out with those guys he just referred to back in 1993.
Yes, I was.
Amendola dropped for a gain of a yard. 3rd down and 9 coming up.
And Tony, you remember how I was talking about New England not really pressing the running game and not able to manufacture anything? That's pretty much off the table now, isn't it? As a defender, how much fun was it to be in this position up 35-14? What was it like mentally for you?
Well, you know, you put the offense in one dimension. I mean, you know that they got to throw the ball downfield, so you're rushing the passer. You want them to run the ball, eat the clock up. You know, you just the guys all talk on the defensive line here on each of the quarterback. The pressure, that's what it's all about.
3rd down, Brady fires incomplete, and the Patriots will punt it away. Brady has to get off the mat once again. I tell you, we brought up earlier, you can look inside numbers, and sometimes they tell the story, sometimes they don't. The last 2 games, Brady has been hit 23 times. Now, he's not getting sacked a lot because he's getting rid of the ball like what you just saw. But, man, is he taking some punishing hits from this Philadelphia defense today.
Well, that pressure just stops him from being able to look downfield and find those open receivers.
Sproles run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Patriots in big trouble.
Today's game is sponsored by Papa John's, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
Get a look right inside our Fox television truck. Hi, guys.
Control center right there.
Better believe it.
The magic is made in that truck.
How about a multitask in there? They're working and waving.
A lot of buttons.
Our producer, Mark Titleman, our director, Greg Scopatone. Greg gets a drive home. Back to beautiful Vermont. There's a carry up to the 38-yard line by Sproles, who's had a real nice game today.
Yeah, it seems like he gets better the more you give him the ball.
And he's talked about his lack of touches in recent weeks. And there's a reason, because when he touches it, good things tend to result, whether it's there or in the pass game. We've seen it both ways, and obviously the big return as well today.
He's averaging 6 yards per carry in the game.
You got to like when there's competition on that side of the ball, and your running backs with Barner, Sproles, and Murray.
Sproles also has 3 catches, 36 yards. Well, he's dropped behind the line of scrimmage this time by Mayo.
So you won't see Mayo in your initial picture, but you'll see him show up in a hurry as he shoots the gap. Look at him coming right at you, 51 in blue. Traverses his way through, moves forward, makes the play.
It's nice to see him healthy again.
It is. What a great player he's been for years for New England. His roles had to change. Jamie Collins, 91, has really taken over the featured spot with Dante Hightower, who's not playing today. Gerard Mayo, still a terrific pro and veteran, helping lead those young guys.
Barner spins the other way, and he's dropped for a big loss back to the 31-yard line. You know, you can see the narrative coming from a mile away about what they're going to be saying about these Patriots. You know, asking the question, have all the injuries on both sides of the football. You just mentioned Hightower. We know about Lewis and Julian Edelman with a broken foot. Gronkowski injured last week. All this goes on and on.
All the offensive linemen they lost.
Have they finally caught up?
Right. And you know, when they were winning, it was how well they could overcome things. You lose 2 in a row, that narrative, as you said, changes, and now it's, oh my God, the injuries are killing them.
Yeah, we only have so much depth on a football team.
Penalty flag is down. And we'll wait on the penalty all the way back at the line of scrimmage.
But Chris Maragos is having some game on special teams, guys. He made the tackle.
Illegal formation, not enough men on the line of scrimmage, only 6 men on the line. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So they're going to punt it again. Well, this weekend, as we pay tribute to the 74th anniversary of Pearl Harbor and honor those who selflessly serve our country, Fox Sports is so proud to support Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our great country. If you'd like to help, visit foxsportsupports.com.
You know, it's an honor to be a part of Fox and how they go and they represent our men and women who protect this country.
Yeah, they do pay homage to them.
Awesome.
And we definitely tip our caps and thank them. And I thought our show today was tremendous today from Pearl Harbor.
You guys ever been to Pearl Harbor?
Yes.
I'll tell you what, you get goosebumps.
It's sobering, isn't it?
Yeah, man, let me tell you. Unbelievable. If you haven't gone, go. It'll humble you.
Yep, it's the USS Arizona. Johnson, a 4-yard return. We're under 8 minutes. Eagles flying high outside of Beantown on this Sunday in December. 7:45 to play. A shocking 35-14 lead for the Philadelphia Eagles in Foxborough. Chandler, depending on where his forward progress on the reception. The last offensive series, New England continued to huddle up. And now they'll slowly get up till, nope, they're going to huddle up again. It almost makes you wonder if they just said, okay, today's not our day.
I think if they get another first down, the tempo may quicken. Sometimes you get a couple to move you, and then you take off and go from there.
Oh, Brady sandwiched.
Tom, you mentioned not too long ago, in the previous 2 games, Tom Brady has been hit 23 times. Not even talking about just straight sacks, just hit. That was coming into today. That number's got to be approaching, if not already in double figures today, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he has taken a number of hits, even if they aren't all sacks. There we go, 12 hits, 12 hurried, 4 sacks on 39 drop-back passes. It's a lot to deal with.
You know, often Those of us up here in the booth are guilty of only talking about the skilled players that have been injured. But look, you talk to anybody that knows anything about football, and it starts up front. And for Brady's bunch up there, I mean, it has been a regular revolving door.
How about him stepping up there? He got pressure, stepped up, climbed the pocket, and delivered it for a first down.
He's still competing, man. He's not giving up. That's not Tom Brady's character.
Back shoulder throw incomplete. Let's quickly check in back in Los Angeles with Mike for a game break.
Hey, back and forth we go between the Panthers and the Saints. Cam Newton back to pass. Ted Ginn Jr. beats the zone. And, a linebacker's on Ted Ginn Jr. He's going to catch that one. 4 TDs for Cam on the day. Maybe your MVP this year. His Panthers in front by 3.
Mike Hill, he threw that one like you in your Sunday Flag League. I mean, man, that was beautiful. Did you see him launch that bad boy? You know Mike's got skills now.
Oh, I have no doubt about that. I'm just trying to figure out how a linebacker stays with Ted Ginn Jr.
He doesn't.
Waiting. Fires. Caught by White. And he's down to the 21-yard line. Clock under 6:30.
Wow, really surprised they only rushed 2 guys. Tom Brady had all day to sit in that pocket. They're moving the ball good now, guys.
38.
Well, they've got to get into the end zone in a hurry. This is a 3-touchdown differential. They're taking a lot of play, time just getting this play off. 23 seconds out of the backfield. And stopping the clock out of bounds is White.
Listen, Philadelphia give up that type of a completion. They would have wanted him to stay in bounds, of course. But they'll give up that with what Tom just described as how long it took New England to activate the play. If that's going on, they'll take that and run with it. As the clock continues to tick now, 5:40 to go.
4 down. 50 window.
Looking at the end zone for Chandler, and that is a touchdown, New England. With 5:27 to go. A point after away from shaving the deficit down to 14.
Scott Chandler is a capable receiver. He's going to go from what they call inline, a normal tight end spot, what they call the wide position, and runs the route and beats Kiko Alonso towards the corner. Well-delivered pass, good catch by Chandler. You know, when he was in Buffalo, he had 3 seasons of 70-plus catches, so he's a capable receiver, and he's trying to fill the void with Rob Gronkowski out.
All right, so this one not over quite yet. 5:27 to go and a 14-point lead. So barring a big-time comeback, and there's enough time for one, but if, Charles, this turns out to be a Philadelphia win, the Giants had a 10-point lead in the second half and blew it, losing in overtime to the Jets earlier today. And after 3 of the ugliest games you'll ever see in your life, a win here today for Philadelphia. They have a chance to be in a first-place tie depending on what the Redskins do tomorrow night.
Tom, anyone in the NFC East probably save Dallas? A 3-game win streak probably wins you the division.
You're right.
That's just kind of where they are right now, especially late in the year. And we thought that, I think that the narrative going into today was that if you had to pick one team in the East that you trusted, quote-unquote trusted down the stretch, I think it'd lean towards the New York Giants.
I'm with you.
Yep.
And, right, Tony? I mean, everybody would say Tom Coughlin, Eli, the whole deal, but they spit the bid again today. And so now you're looking at Washington at home tomorrow night against Dallas, where Washington has been a monster all year long. They've only got 1 loss at home to 2 entirely different teams that we've seen. On the road, they can't beat anyone. At home, they beat everyone. And now you're looking here with Philadelphia climbing right back into it with what many would say, not many, just about everyone would say, a very unexpected potential win here today.
So now we're going to see the
potential, because it's not over yet.
No, it's not. And in the air, and wait a minute. And the Patriots have the football.
.5:25 on the clock, guys. A lot of time for Tom Brady.
And the defense has to go right back out on the field.
Now, some might be wondering here.
It hit Zach Ertz, and he couldn't possess the football. He had it, and it went right through his hands. And he's part of the hands team as a receiver, and he couldn't get it. And it looks like Rashawn Melvin, number 24, dove on the football for New England.
And that ball did not travel the allotted 10 yards. But Ertz didn't want to take that chance, so he came up to try and get it.
He made the right play. You're taught as a guy on the onside kick team to go attack the football and catch it. Don't let it bounce too many times. Then things really get crazy. Ertz just didn't catch the football cleanly.
All right, a little bit of electricity in the crowd as Brady steps up, delivers a strike to... No, it's incomplete. Brady can't believe it. Let's take another look. It was on its way to Martin.
Remember, Keyshawn Martin, prior to Denver last week, had missed 5 games with a hamstring injury. And sometimes your timing goes off. Things aren't quite as certain. Looked like it was going to be a nice completion for him, but he couldn't possess the football all the way through the catch.
Well, we rarely get games here in New England. We saw a miracle finish a handful of seasons ago on a late Sunday. That was back in the month of October. When Brady threw a touchdown pass, a final play of the game to win it against New Orleans. And now trying to rally from 21 down in the final 7 minutes. That is a first down to White. And naturally in hurry-up mode as we've reached a 5-minute mark.
Philadelphia's had to change big guys up front.
Yeah, that pass rush isn't quite what it was earlier in the game, guys.
Cox and Curry had to come off the field to get a bit of a break.
Brady trying to avoid a big hit by Bo Allen. And was able to step out of the way. And another injured Patriot. That's their starting guard, Josh Klein.
And they've been through the mill with offensive line injuries. But where they backfilled themselves at the beginning of the year, they played a lot of offensive linemen, even when it wasn't quote-unquote warranted. Not because they were trying to protect against injuries, but they thought they had guys who deserved to play, and they got them out on the field. And the unintended result, they have a little bit more depth.
Josh Klein able to get up and run off under his own power, but injuries have piled up. It started with Dion Lewis against Washington. Edelman broke his foot against the Giants. Dobson, an ankle injury in the Buffalo game. Then Gronkowski carted off last week. I mean, you are talking about an extraordinary number of receptions, receiving yards, touchdowns that Tom Brady is having to work without. Throws that one over the middle and nearly intercepted. Now, they are hoping to have all of those players, with the lone exception of Dion Lewis, back at some point in time as we move forward. They're not precisely sure when, but they clearly need them back.
And you look at those numbers there, that represents, what'd you say, 70%?
A little over 62,
right? And almost 70% of offense.
And with Amendola out,
he missed a game,
right?
And he made it back today, fortunately. But it's a matter of when and how effective will they be when they make it back. You know, it's one thing to be back, but are you 100% ready to go?
Lofted out of the backfield of White, and Alonso ran it beautifully. 4th down coming up, and pretty much in a nutshell, this is it, one way or the other. You convert on 4th down, you still have a fighter's chance. If you're stuffed here, Philadelphia can burn not all the clock, but a lot of it. So 4th down, they need to get to the 35. Brady steps up, points the receiver down the sideline, and White the reception to the 21. 4 minutes to go.
And it was covered well by Kiko Alonso right up until the end when he fell. Watch Brady, can't throw it there, can't throw it in the middle, comes back, lofts it, and Alonso fell down and allowed White to end up with the catch.
On the 21-yard line, Brady steps up, crossing pattern again to White. And that's a gain of 9 as we get to 3:35 and counting.
Philadelphia was so close to getting off the field on the 4th down play. And surprise, surprise, Tom Brady finds a way to convert yet again.
Into the arms of LaFell, trying to get to the end zone, and he stopped just short. Down to 3:10 and counting. And Brady will quarterback sneak it into the end zone. Did he get there? Yes, it is a touchdown, and all of a sudden, 3 minutes to go, and it's not over yet.
Well, Tom, all those people who left the stadium early, I guess they're trying to get back in.
There are a pile of them that left.
They got it on the radio and are yelling at each other about who said which time for us to leave. But how about another big drive by New England? That last 4th and 10 that they had to convert and got the big pass to White and then came back with another shot to him. And then LaFell barrels his way down field before Brady dives in. A gutsy drive for New England to put themselves in position where Philadelphia is going to have to do something on offense if they can get the ball back up. It might be another onside kick.
No doubt. Well, I shouldn't say no doubt.
No,
3 minutes to go and all 3 timeouts.
They may kick it deep. We shall see.
They have 2 timeouts remaining to the Patriots. So Tom Brady gets him down the field, converting on that 4th and long.
But this is how it all ended up, because they had excellent coverage in Philadelphia, and Brady ended up with time and tries to make a play. And see where Kiko Alonso, 50, had the coverage, fell down. Otherwise, he's probably making a play on the ball. White may have caught the ball anyway, but he ended up catching it uncontested because Alonso fell down. How about this play by LaFell? He's had some tough moments out here today, but when they needed him there, not only did he make an excellent catch, but how about the additional yardage to put him in position for the sneak by Brady for the touchdown?
Well, this guy, win, lose, draw, and more times than not, 79% of the time in his career, it's win. We can talk about Super Bowl MVPs, of course, along with Terry Bradshaw and Joe Montana, 4 Super Bowl titles. Patriots have never overcome a 21-point deficit in the 4th quarter to win, but the winning 12 divisional championships, a record 9 conference title games, a record for a quarterback, 6 Super Bowl appearances, 6 conference championships. It's just mind-boggling. So here we go again. And they're going to have Ebner deliver the kick. Knocked out of bounds wisely right there by Riley Cooper.
Very smart play by Riley Cooper. That doesn't go under. Remember earlier in the year with Cam Chancellor with the batting the ball on defense?
Yep.
This is a smart play here. This is not a penalty. It's a very wise play by Riley Cooper. Get it over the sideline. No one gets possession. That means Philadelphia gets it.
Well, wait a minute now. Are they calling a penalty against Philadelphia? The Patriots were signaling as though there was some kind of penalty. Apparently not. Well, now this to swing it the other way is where you find out what Sam Bradford of the Eagles and this offensive line is all about.
And you find out where Chip Kelly goes with play calling. How conservative, or will he let Sam Bradford make some plays in order to keep the football?
Fake it to Sproles. Bradford will run rather than throw and stop the clock. He picks up the yard. And timeout New England. 2:53 to go and a 2nd and 9 upcoming. Let's check in with Mike back in Los Angeles.
Hey, got a barn burner in New Orleans. Back and forth they go between the Panthers and Saints. Mark Ingram finding the end zone from 9 yards out. Saints reclaim that lead 38-34 over the undefeated Panthers in the 4th.
Well, of course, in the last, 3.5 weeks, we've seen the Broncos lose for the first time. The Bengals lose for the first time. Last Sunday, these Patriots lost for the first time. Carolina on the ropes in the Big Easy.
But at least they clinched their division today. Atlanta lost earlier, so they've clinched the NFC South.
Or Atlanta's falling apart. 2nd down and 10. They spotted the ball where Bradford's knee came down, right alongside the ball diving forward. They're going to run it to Sproles. dropped for a 1-yard loss and another New England timeout. 2:49 to go. Chong coming up from his strong safety spot to make the tackle. All right, 3rd down and 11. Are you going to throw it? They're out of timeouts. If you run it, you're guaranteed a burning 35 more seconds off the clock.
I think that's probably where they will go, but if he does, it'll be something like what we saw with Bradford early, the fake inside, get him to the corner, something safe, or just drop down on the ground and make sure you possess the football. Because right now, this game is coming down to those guys sitting on the bench right there.
The
Philadelphia defense, and they've got to get in their heads right now that the game comes down to them.
Yep, pass rush.
Bradford. Whoa, what a completion to Riley Cooper at the 33, and that may put a nail in this one. Might.
And Sam Bradford stood in there because here comes the wave of pressure in his face. He steps up, and delivers to Riley Cooper.
Jason Peters, we talked about him all day. What a great job of just getting a little piece of the outside rusher to give Sam Bradford a chance to step up and make that throw.
Earlier in the game, his eyes were coming down and seeing the rush. On that one, they saw the receiver. And what a call by Chip Kelly putting in Sam Bradford's hands.
And that's the first catch all day today by the former 2 sports star at the University of Florida, Riley Cooper. 2-minute warning, a 7-point game. Got to go all the way back to weeks 2 and 3 of 2012. So 3 years ago, since the Patriots lost back-to-back games, they trailed by 7 with under 2 minutes to go. Sproles cuts it back to the inside of the 27.
And how about that big completion again from Bradford? Watch Jason Peters, okay, right here, 71. Watch what he does on this play. Ninkovich, number 50, gets the rush, freeze it. And then you see the vision of Peters, but watch the effort. He gets just enough of Ninkovich that allows Bradford to step up and deliver to Riley Cooper. He's had a tough day, has Jason Peters. He's had a tough season due to injuries. But remember, he was an undrafted tight end out of Arkansas.
That's a big tight end.
And we saw that agility there. Yeah, he was a 300-pound tight end. I think he did a little more blocking than catching. But you saw the agility coming into play again, especially after 2 torn Achilles tendons.
A huge play and him picking that up.
And of course, the guy he gives the credit to for coming up with the idea is Mike Mularkey, who right now is the interim head coach in Tennessee. All right, let's take a look at the playoff picture. And we begin in the NFC. Carolina trying to stay unbeaten in a good one. Arizona winners today. Green Bay, the miracle finish the other night. And the Redskins play at home against Dallas, trying to take command of the NFC East. And then look at everything else.
And look at how that flipped today, because when we started today, before anyone kicked off, the Vikings were where the Packers were.
Yep.
And because of the Vikings lost to Seattle today, the Packers win Thursday night. They flip positions because Green Bay has the tiebreaker over Minnesota. They beat them head-to-head.
You know, it's funny. You hear so many people talk about, when asked a question, is it harder to get to the top or stay on top? But 99% of the time you hear stay on top.
Yes.
And that's what makes this Patriots run now in the last 15 years just so incredible. 3rd down run by Barner. Did he fumble the football? He fumbled the football. Now who covered it up? Are the Patriots going to give Brady one more chance with a minute left to go? We're waiting. Brady will get the chance.
Protect the football, and Kenyon Barner's fighting for extra yards, but what a great job ripping it out over the top. Barner's got to have 2 hands over this thing, but right there, I think that's Jamie Collins, 91. Look at the rip. See that? You got to have 2 hands and cover the football, because that's all that matters at that point, not additional yardage.
All right, here we go. The Patriots are out of timeouts. They're down by 7. They were down by 21. More than midway through this final quarter. Brady looking for the home run ball to Brandon LaFell. And it's incomplete. That's Eric Rowe in coverage, and that did not miss by much.
Eric Rowe's grown up a lot in a little more than a week, hasn't he? He sees it. He's got him pinned to the sideline. He looks back for the football. Good job overall by Rowe, although LaFell was trying to wrap around and catch the football, but Rowe did not want to interfere there and give up big yardage on that play.
56 seconds remain. 4-man rush. Brady gets away from a sack and throws incomplete. Graham had it wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Kendricks, he tipped it away.
Yeah, people keep talking about Tom Brady and his lack of athleticism. How about just his will to not go down in this situation and find his way out of what looks to be a sure sack and almost make a play? And good job by Kendricks in coverage.
Relentless.
Third down and 10 from the 25. Brady steps up, and a first down catch made to the 37 by White. 43 seconds left, and White trying to get up. Brady getting him to the line of scrimmage, and will stop it with 34 ticks remaining.
And after that deep ball, they try to throw to LaFell. The Eagles have altered their strategy defensively as well. They have two safeties playing 25 yards deep. They'll let anything go in front. See here? Okay, that looks like Ed Reynolds 30 and Walter Thurman 26. But all they want to do is make sure everything stays in front.
Gave a signal to LaFell, and that's a catch that's got to be made. Injury or no injury in the early part of this year, these are catches that just have to be made.
Coming into the game, there was a narrative about Philadelphia and their receivers and the number of drops they've had on the year. It's been one of the things that Brandon LaFell's been fighting his whole career. We actually saw him in college, Tom, at LSU, where he struggled with that a little bit and got better. It just showed up again at an inopportune time for New England.
31 seconds left and counting. Amendola right through his hands, and it's 4th down and 10.
A little bit tougher there because he had to turn him back inside to try and catch the ball. But we're used to seeing a guy like Amendola come down with this type of a pass. It's a tough one. Watch how he has to contort his body back inside a little bit high.
A lot of drop passes in this game for New England.
You know, coming in, we mentioned it a minute ago, Philadelphia was the team that they talked about couldn't catch the ball.
Yeah.
And now in this critical situation, can New England find it in them again to pick up a big first down or more?
Well, they need 10 on this 4th down. Brady, excellent protection down the middle, and it's what's the call on the field? Incomplete. And there's a penalty flag behind the line of scrimmage. You got to wonder, is this? Nope, it's going to be against New England. And that will do it, barring a fumbled snap. So for so many, this is one of the stunning wins of the year by any team.
Keyshawn Martin and Danny Amendola were almost on the same plane running their route. And Martin had it in his hands, but a good job by Rose staying with it. Watch him rake through the hands and the arms, keeps the ball moving, gets some help from Jenkins popping it out, does not complete the process of the catch. And Philadelphia takes over, and what a monster win for them.
It's a Philadelphia team that allowed 45 or more points, 10 touchdown passes in the last 2 weeks. They were ready to run Chip Kelly out of town on a rail. And now all of a sudden, depending on what the Redskins do tomorrow night, Philadelphia might wake up on Tuesday morning in a tie atop for first place, the NFC East. It's only the 5th time in Tom Brady's career where his Patriots have lost back-to-back games. 35-28 the final.
And how about Philadelphia fighting themselves down the stretch? Found a way to win it.
All right, let's wrap it up. A thriller going on in New Orleans. Can the Panthers stay unbeaten? We send you now to the Big Easy.